To address the issues facing Tennesseans today, from 10 News, this is Inside Tennessee.
Good morning and welcome to Inside Tennessee. I'm your moderator, John Becker. Our panel in studio this morning, Republican Susan Richardson Williams runs her own PR firm. Dennis Francis, great to see you back. A Democrat runs his own law firm.
That's correct.
Nice to have you. You can say more than that upon occasion. All right, we are going to introduce our guest who had a big success this week, Mayor Indya Kincannon, passing not just her budget that she asked for, but also a tax increase. Mayor, it's great to have you with us, and let's start there because this was a big proposal. You called this a no-frills budget, no fluff in this budget, in response to some criticism. For our viewers who didn't get a chance to hear that city council meeting or follow the process, why do you say this is a lean budget?
Well, this is a lean budget because it's all about essential services and core infrastructure. Like so many organizations and businesses, we have had a big challenge retaining and attracting new people to our workforce. We're down over 50 police officers. We're down over 50 people in public service. We are really struggling with a lot of vacancies throughout city government. And that affects our ability to keep people safe, to keep the infrastructure and roads and streets and core things that people rely on to conduct business and run their and have their lives safe. We needed to have a budget that supports our employees so they can keep providing those services. So that's what this budget was all about. And the tax increase is because you got to pay for it. Lip service only goes so far. You got to put your money where your mouth is.
And as you've pointed out, 80% of that money from the tax increase is going directly to people within the city. We're talking about firefighters and police officers. One bit of criticism I wanted to talk about was the tax increase. And just for our viewers who haven't seen this figure from your office, you say anywhere from $10 to $50 a month is likely what most homeowners in the city are going to experience. One person I spoke to said, what about hitting people who are poor or low income disproportionately hard when they're already paying more at the gas pump and also the grocery store? How do you answer that?
Well, I would answer that. First of all, $10 a month is what most people will experience, and I think that's a great value for when you call 911 to make sure that the police and firefighters who respond are well trained and not exhausted at the end of a 12-hour shift. Second, I would say there are tax relief programs available through the Property Tax Office of Knox County in the state of Tennessee. So for low-income seniors, disabled people, and disabled veterans on fixed incomes, there are some programs to alleviate those things. The other thing I would say is some of the things that we do for the people of Knoxville most directly benefit people who are also lowest income. Our free parks, our rec services, our senior centers, those are things, the CAT bus service, those are things that are essential to people, and I would say even more essential to people on the lower economic bracket. So to make sure that people have those services that they rely on, this is a modest increase to keep those going.
Mayor, you also included a $2,000 bonus that was across the board. And you had some people on the council that didn't really want to see an across the board because that also impacts the people that make over $100,000 a year that work there. So what was the purpose of that, to give everyone a $2,000
Well, first
bonus?
I want to say thank you to council because we had a robust discussion and they were part of this budget development process for the last year. And I would also say that particular element passed unanimously, and the tax increase passed 8-1. And so this council was part of developing this budget and understands that it takes some courage to do some things, including pass a budget that requires a tax increase to keep our first responders and other employees and essential services going. So I'm grateful for City Council support. That retention bonus was basically a recognition that the city employees kept things going throughout the pandemic. We never closed for a single day. When people called 911, we answered that call every day. And also it's a recognition that our city employees have been underpaid below market relative to other cities of our size for decades. And so this was a recognition of that. The other thing to notice is that very few people who work for the city of Knoxville make six figures. I exempted myself and all of my cabinet. So we're talking about 20-some people who got that bonus who earn over $100,000. And those are people who also are working hard and could leave the city of Knoxville tomorrow and probably double their income. We're talking about IT professionals, engineers, lawyers, and other people who are essential to keeping our city running. So I think we answered the questions of the public and answered the questions of council and earned their support.
Mayor, I have a question. I represent an awful lot of police officers in times of distress. Are we ever going to be able to get a full class again for the academy? I mean, we've been struggling along, 16, 17 people, and
yeah, this is exactly the reason that we haven't been able to. This is one of the reasons behind this budget. We are at a crossroads where we're struggling to. We didn't even have a police academy this spring, which is not okay. We're down over 50 officers, and we need to have full academies. So we are going to attract and retain more people because of not just the bonus or the higher pay, but the step schedule where people who enter the police force can see where they're going to be earning after 10 years with the police force. We also have a new chief coming, and I think the combination of strong leadership, fair and equitable wages, we're going to be opening the new public safety complex. It's a great time to join the Knoxville Police Department, and we hope that our many excellent officers who are here now stay and continue to serve the people of Knoxville. We need them. Council supports them, I support them, the people of Knoxville support them, and it's a great place to work and live. And I think we're going to have full academies going forward.
Go ahead, Dennis.
what's the timeline on moving into the new KPD headquarters? Have we got a definitive date yet?
We don't have a definitive date, but it'll be this calendar year.
And one other question on just the force itself, Mayor. We want to talk about the chief in the next block, but you pointed out that there are some programs underway, including at Austin East, where you're trying to reach young people who may have an interest in law enforcement early. Explain that.
Mm-hmm. We have a cadet program. You're not allowed to enter the police academy until you are 21 years old. And so we have a lot of young people who might be interested in joining the Knoxville Police Department, but not old enough to. So what we're doing is we pay them a salary, a modest salary, to stay as cadets, where they don't get a weapon or any arresting authority or anything like that, but they can start participating with a uniform and experience what it's like to be in law enforcement career. And then once they're old enough, they can enter the academy. So we expect to see kids from Austin East, Central, West, and Fulton. Fulton is going to be especially well positioned. They are literally a stone's throw from our new public safety complex. And just this spring, I met at our State of the City address 5 Fulton High School students who all want to become Knoxville police officers, and they're ready to go, but they're just not quite old enough yet. So that's where we have the cadet program, and we're hoping to attract more young people who live in the city to enter the police force.
We're going to take a quick break on Inside Tennessee, back with more of our conversation with Knoxville Mayor Indya Kincannon right after this.